My precious friend, you did not stumble upon this moment. No, you were brought here, drawn by something deeper than curiosity, pulled by something stronger than circumstance. Because there is a cry in your soul, a quiet yearning that whispers, there must be more. And there is. Oh, beloved, there is more. So I give you not mere rules, but revelation. Not just lessons, but keys to unlock the very life you were created to live. You can read all the books, attend all the classes, but until your heart is awakened, true change will never come. Let the fire begin inside. Let it burn. Let it transform. Some of you are holding on so tight, but the miracle only comes after the letting go. Let go, surrender. Say, not my will, but something higher. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, purpose kissed your soul, and it is still calling you, still waiting for your yes. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be ready. You just need to say, yes, I'll go, because one step of obedience will take you where talent never could. Stop chasing the spotlight. Start cultivating your presence continuously, because when the inside is full of power, even your shadow can heal. That brokenness you hide, it's the soil where your greatest harvest will grow. Don't run from your scars. They are the map to your destiny. You're waiting for all the lights to turn green before you move. But faith says, move and the light will follow. Do it afraid if you must, but do it. I have seen it. Oh, I have felt it. The impossible bends when faith stands tall. So don't ask how, ask who, and trust the one who parts seas and opens graves. You can gain the whole world, but if you lose your quiet place, your secret place, you've lost everything. Stay rooted, stay close, stay surrendered. Right now, this very moment, something inside you is awakening. Don't silence it. Don't delay. Your yes will set things in motion for you and for generations. Beloved, you are not here by accident. And this is not just a speech, it is a summons. You were made for more. You were chosen for this moment. And if we will take these rules, not as laws, but as life, your world will never, never be the same again. Lift your eyes, open your hands, and say with all your heart, here I am, I'm ready. And watch, oh, watch what happens next. You can study all the right strategies, memorize every principle, recite quotes, repeat affirmations, attend conferences that stir your intellect. But until something shifts deep within you, until your heart is awakened, nothing truly changes. The head may understand, but the heart must believe. The heart is where conviction lives. It's where love takes root. It's where fear is broken and courage is born. The heart carries the weight of your why. The head may calculate the risks, but the heart is what dares to leap. That's why some people know what to do and still don't do it, because knowledge alone isn't power. Activated belief is. When truth touches your heart, it becomes alive, personal, it becomes yours. And when that happens, something begins to stir that cannot be silenced or reasoned away. Transformation is not about behavior modification. It's about heart renovation. When the heart changes, everything else follows. Habits change. Desires shift. Your words carry weight. Your walk has purpose. You begin to live from a deeper place, not reacting to life, but responding from conviction. So don't just try to think your way into a new life. Let your heart be softened, reshaped, and set on fire. Because only a heart fully alive can carry the weight of the life you're called to live. In a world that glorifies control, hustle, and self-reliance, surrender feels foreign. It looks like giving up. It sounds like defeat. But in truth, surrender is not the end of power. It is the gateway to a greater kind of strength, one that does not come from striving, but from yielding. When you surrender, you lay down the illusion that you are the source. You stop clenching your fists around outcomes you were never meant to control. And in that moment, something shifts. The weight you've carried begins to lift, not because the battle is over, but because it's no longer yours to fight alone. Surrender is not passive. It is the most active choice you can make. It says, I trust, I release, I yield to something higher than myself. And it is in that space of trust that strength rises, not from within you, but through you. A strength that defies logic, a strength that steadies you in chaos, a strength that holds you when you cannot hold yourself. Some of the greatest breakthroughs don't come when you push harder, they come when you let go. Not because you've stopped caring, but because you've started trusting. The moment you stop wrestling for control is the moment you begin to walk in power that is not limited by your own capacity. Surrender doesn't make you smaller. It positions you to receive something bigger than you ever imagined. There is more to you than just getting through the day, more than routines and responsibilities, more than bills and burdens. Deep within you is a brilliance the world has yet to see fully. You were not placed here just to exist, to blend in, to play it safe. You were placed here with purpose, intention, and a spark that was never meant to stay hidden. Survival is about getting by. Shining is about standing out, not for applause, but for impact. To shine is to live in alignment with who you truly are. It means stepping out of the shadows of fear, of doubt, of comparison, and choosing to let your light be seen, even when it feels risky. You carry something unique, a voice, a vision, a gift that no one else can replicate. The world doesn't need a copy of someone else. It needs you. Fully alive, fully awake, fully engaged. And when you step into that truth, when you stop dimming yourself to fit in or playing small to make others comfortable, you give others permission to do the same. Shining is not about perfection. It's about authenticity. It's about owning your story, walking in your calling, and refusing to let the fire inside you go out just because the world around you doesn't always understand it. You weren't made to hide. You were made to illuminate. So don't settle for survival when you are destined for radiance. Talent can take you far, but it has limits. It can impress people, gain attention, and even open temporary opportunities. But obedience, quiet, consistent, often unseen obedience, unlocks things that talent alone can never touch. Obedience positions you for the right doors at the right time, in the right way. It's easy to celebrate giftedness. The world loves charisma, brilliance, and ability, but talent without alignment is noise without purpose. Obedience, on the other hand, is the daily choice to respond, to follow, to act, even when it costs you comfort, even when it makes no sense, even when no one is watching. Some of the most powerful moments in life aren't the result of extraordinary skill, but of simple obedience, saying yes when it would be easier to say no, showing up when it would be easier to stay hidden, trusting the whisper instead of the spotlight. Obedience doesn't always look spectacular. It often looks ordinary. But it is in those ordinary steps that extraordinary breakthroughs are born. When you're obedient, you align yourself with something greater than yourself. You walk in rhythm with purpose. And there, doors swing open, not because you forced them, but because you were faithful. Obedience is not about being the best. It's about being available, being ready, being willing. It builds character where talent alone cannot. And in the end, it's obedience, not brilliance, that sustains the journey. You can know all the right things, gather all the facts, memorize every principle. But if there is no closeness, no depth, no real connection, then the knowledge stays shallow. Information fills the mind, but intimacy transforms the heart. It's not how much you know that changes you. It's how deeply you are connected to what matters. Intimacy is where truth becomes personal. It's the difference between hearing a voice and knowing the tone, between reading words and feeling their weight. Intimacy requires presence, vulnerability, and time. It asks you to slow down, to lean in, to open up. And in return, it offers something no amount of knowledge ever can. Revelation that sticks, that shapes, that stays. We live in an age drowning in information. You can search for anything, learn everything, but still feel empty. Because transformation doesn't come from data, it comes from connection. When you're intimate with something, you begin to reflect it. It becomes part of you. It reshapes how you think, how you act, how you love, how you lead. True intimacy produces wisdom. It makes truth come alive. It draws you out of performance and into authenticity. It's not about performing for approval. It's about walking in relationship. That's where clarity comes. That's where confidence is born. And that's where real growth begins. Not from knowing more, but from being known more deeply. In a world obsessed with visibility, followers, stages, influence, recognition, it's easy to believe that your value is measured by how many eyes are on you. But true impact doesn't come from the size of your platform. It comes from the substance of your presence. Who you are when no one is watching matters more than what you do when everyone is. The platform can be given. The presence must be cultivated. A platform can elevate you temporarily, but only presence sustains lasting influence. It's not about how loudly you speak or how far your voice travels, but about what your life carries. Peace that calms rooms, love that breaks down walls, truth that cuts through noise, authenticity that invites others to breathe deeper. Presence is developed in the quiet places. It's born in the times when no one sees the battles you've fought, the tears you cried, the character you've built. It's the overflow of an inner life that's rooted, surrendered, and real. People may forget your words, but they'll never forget how your presence made them feel. Seen, safe, stirred, or strengthened. A platform without presence is empty noise, but presence without a platform still carries power. Because when you walk into a room carrying peace, when your life radiates something deeper than charisma, doors open that no spotlight could ever force. It's who you are, not where you stand, that changes atmospheres. And when your presence carries weight, even your silence can speak. It may not feel that way when you're in it, when the nights are long and heavy, when the questions are louder than the answers, when your heart feels shattered beyond repair. But hidden within that very pain is a seed, something that, if you let it, can grow into strength, compassion, depth, and resilience the world cannot take from you. Pain has a way of uncovering what comfort often hides. It strips away the surface and brings you face to face with what truly matters. And though it feels like breaking, it's also a kind of making. Every tear, every scar, every ache becomes part of a deeper story, one not just about suffering, but about rising. The very thing that threatened to silence you can become the reason you speak with authority. The loss that tried to define you can become the reason you bring healing to others. The wound you never asked for can become the well from which your greatest wisdom flows. Pain deepens you, not to destroy you, but to prepare you. It carves space for more empathy, more clarity, more truth. But for pain to become power, it must be faced, felt, processed, not rushed past or buried, but honored and transformed. And when it is, what once felt like a curse begins to emerge as a calling, not because the pain was good, but because you didn't let it have the final word. Your story, especially the hardest parts, can become someone else's lifeline. And in that, your pain doesn't just find purpose. It becomes power. Faith isn't ignorance, and it's not blind optimism. It doesn't close its eyes to reality or pretend that everything is fine when it's not. Faith sees the facts clearly, the diagnosis, the death, the broken relationship, the closed door, and still chooses to believe that those facts are not the end of the story. Facts describe what is. Faith declares what can be. There is a difference between acknowledging what you're facing and letting it define you. Faith doesn't require you to pretend. It invites you to hope, to look beyond what's visible and anchor yourself in something deeper, stronger, eternal. It speaks into the dark, not because it ignores the night, but because it knows the morning is coming. Faith isn't naive. It's courageous. It stares down reality and says, "You may be real, but you are not final." It holds space for miracles where logic draws limits. It believes in healing when doctors say there's none. It expects breakthrough when the odds are stacked. It plants seeds when the ground looks dry and waits for rain, because it knows that possibility doesn't bow to probability. When faith rises, it doesn't erase the facts, it overrides their conclusion, because truth, deeper truth, has the power to break patterns, shift outcomes, and write new endings. Faith sees the mountain but speaks to it anyway. It feels the fear but moves forward anyway. It hears the report but listens to the whisper that says, "There's more." Facts may frame the scene, but they don't write the script. Faith does. Logic draws lines, defines boundaries, calculates risks, and predicts outcomes. It operates within what is known, what is measurable, what can be explained. But miracles don't live in that space. They begin where reason runs out, where the equation doesn't add up, where the path disappears, where human effort hits its limit. A miracle isn't bound by what makes sense. It's not the result of perfect planning or flawless execution. It often shows up when everything else has failed, when the doors have closed, the answers have run dry, and all that's left is surrender. That's the sacred territory where miracles are made, not in control, but in complete dependence. Miracles don't happen because we figure things out. They happen when we release the need to. They come in moments that defy logic. A sudden healing, an unexpected provision, a peace that makes no sense in the middle of chaos. They are the evidence of something greater stepping in when human strength steps back. We miss miracles when we demand certainty, when we try to calculate the divine or confine it to our expectations. But when we leave room for mystery, when we stop trying to force what only grace can give, we make space for the impossible to become reality. Miracles aren't about magic. They're about alignment. They meet us when faith is greater than fear, when trust rises above the need to understand. So if you find yourself at the edge of logic, unsure of the next step, know this: you're standing on holy ground. That's where miracles begin. It may not shout. It may not come with flashing lights or loud applause, but it's there, quietly echoing in the background of your soul, waiting for your attention. That call isn't random. It's not something you earned or something you stumbled into. It was placed on your life before you ever took your first breath. It's woven into your very being, into your gifts, your story, your passions, even your pain. You feel it in the moments when you know there's more, when ordinary doesn't satisfy you, when something inside you stirs at the thought of stepping out, speaking up, or creating something that outlasts you. That's not ambition. That's not restlessness. That's the call. And the truth is, no one else can answer it for you. It won't wait forever, and it won't force its way in. It's patient but persistent. It knocks until you open, nudges until you move, whispers until you finally stop long enough to listen. And when you do, when you say yes, everything changes. Not always quickly, not always easily, but answering the call doesn't mean having all the answers. It means being willing to go, to take the first step, even if the faux path is hidden. It means trusting that what's inside you was put there for a reason, and that your obedience to it could unlock freedom for someone else. There's a reason you've come through what you have, a reason certain things move your heart, a reason your voice matters. The word doesn't need another copy. It needs your yes. So don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for permission. You've already been chosen. There is a call on your life, and now is the time to answer it. My friend, you've heard the call, not just my voice, but the echo of something eternal, something sacred stirring within you. These are not just words. This is a divine interruption, a holy invitation. You were not born for average, not built for fear, not created to simply exist. You were born for purpose, for fire, for transformation. And now you stand at the edge of a decision to return to the familiar or to rise into the life that's been waiting for your yes. Everything can change from this moment, not because of emotion, not because of inspiration, but because of surrender, because of obedience, because something inside you dares to believe that this is your time. The world doesn't need a louder voice. It needs a truer one. And that voice is yours. Now step out. Step forward. Not in your strength, but in the power that has carried generations. And let your life become the evidence that when one person says yes, heaven moves. This is your moment. This is your call. Now go. Burn bright